What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you more commentary from a live duel at Locals. On the left we have Chimera Illusion, and on the right we have Tenpai. So we're going to be starting off with, of course, Patchwork. This is going to search out Chains and Poly. So this is a card that is now being reintroduced into the deck. I believe it is because of the Apprentice Magician. It gives you that discard fodder in order to summon it down and everything else, which is exactly what you're about to see here. So we discard the chains. This will then of course allow you to search out another Patchwork, so you're just basically maintaining your hand resource while also giving you access to the Apprentice Magician. Now Apprentice Magician then allows you to have the ability to add an illusion monster from the deck to the hand. Obviously the biggest downside of this particular way of deck is that it will get hit with Drawn Lockbird massively. Now we have seen a bit more of a, like, we're not seeing as many Drawn Lockbirds running around, more of them in, like, less in the main deck for sure, more of them being in the side deck, because they're not, like, they're okay against Tenpai, and they're okay against the other matchups as well, but they're just not like auto wins in the main deck anymore. I feel that the format is still a little bit undefined, as we've only had, I believe, one big event, and even then that was the Greek Open. So we have the Italian Open coming up this weekend, which will be interesting to see. Obviously at the Greek Open, we did see a top 4 branded. We also saw Tenpai win it 9-0 as well. So either people just weren't prepared for it, which I find that hard to believe, or Tenpai is just as good as it says it is. Anyway, we're carrying on our plays. We went into the Moon Mirror Knight. Moon Mirror Knight, just pretty much the exact same combo. Got into Baphomet. Baphomet got into Gazelle and Chimera Fusion. Activate the Chimera Fusion. Get into the Gazelle, which is going to rip one from its opponent's hand during the end phase. And we're just going to build up from there, regain even more resource. And ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to the Diabells, because Diabells then acts like a mini anti-spell, which is really, really important. So we're just waiting to see where that can kind of go. It's okay. It basically makes your opponent set all spells before they activate them, and if a card is set, you can trigger the effect to destroy one card you control and destroy one, I think, one of the set cards your opponent controls. I think it's like basically a 1-for-1 trade is what we're getting at, which is what we're going through here. So this is obviously the new ideal combo, which works out really, really nicely. We've got the Mirror Sword Knight on the board, so that's going to give the ability to trigger out during your opponent's turn and then give you more resource. And this is why the Patchwork engine can be quite helpful, because having a hard poly to use that rather than a Chimera Fusion means you can save that quick play rather than needing to try and recycle it if you want to go even further. And then what you're trying to do here is you're going into the Baphomet, and the Baphomet is the one from Age of Overlord that lets you send a Fiend, Illusion, or a Beast from deck to the grave. And then what you want to be doing is sending the Grandmaster Tau, because doing so, as long as you've got the Diabells in the graveyard, the Tau will allow you to special summon back the Diabells. Even though the Diabell says if there is a Snake Eyes spell or trap in either player's graveyard, you can special summon it. So it'll be a little bit easier accessible in the Snake Eyes matchup, but you're only ever going to need to do that second, because then they would have a Snake Eyes card in the graveyard. So going through the Great Master Tau is obviously the ideal way of doing it in here, which is exactly what's happening here. Now, it's a little bit different if you are in Game 2, because I feel in Game 2 and 3, you're probably going to side in either the End of Anubis, or you're going to be starting in the Barrier Statues of Shadows, I believe. I don't think that actually is its name, but I think Barrier Statues of Shadows is definitely... It's Barrier Statue of Abyss. Basically locks your opponent, or locks all players into only special summoning darks, which can be great because the Tenpai matchup only goes into fires, and in the Voiceless Voice, it's only lights, Melodious only lights, so the statue is actually really important. The only downside is it can get attacked and run over very easy, and especially with the Tenpai, when they're in the battle phase, it just goes, okay, cool, attack it, destroy it. On the plus side of that, like, it means that they have to have the Kaiman, and that's where the combo with the Diabells comes into place, because the Diabells will make that Kaiman be set, meaning that they then can't Kaiman in the battle phase because it's a quick play that's been set. So, obviously setting up some form of targeted protection with the Kotal in graveyard, plus by the time during his opponent's turn, you'll get another negate off the back of the Mirror Sword Knight. The issue is those negates are very tailored to the illusion monsters themselves. Like, they have to, your opponent has to target an illusion monster, and your opponent has to try to activate a monster effect on the field. So it kind of does limit it a bit, and the issue is you can kind of go into Black Rose, nuke the board, and if they get the field spell and play, they're unaffected. So you kind of want to save your ogres for that. And I feel that's one thing that not a lot of people are ready for yet, is a lot of people haven't put the ghost ogres into their builds. So as we're ending this board, we're going to be ripping one from our opponent's hand. Ooh, going to get hit with a fat Rocky boy. Unfortunately, it's not one they control, so it can't be negated that. So Rocky Boy is going to stop that. That does take out 2 cards from their opponent's hand, and you're still going to resolve the Chimera as well, because Chimera will still rip one from the opponent's hand, meaning they've got 3 to play with. But when you're considering how good Tenpais are as just minimal forms, like with the very least, it's going to be done and dusted. So that back row needs to be massively important. So there's 2 cards left in hand. No, sorry, 3 cards left in hand for Tenpai. One of them is going to get ripped in the end phase, and then it's top deck into a third. So if any of those 3 that are left is your starter, and that's probably where you want to be the best position, is if you top deck your starter, you don't care what gets discarded off of the Chimera in the end phase. But I think that nib is, yeah, that nib's massive. If they didn't have that nib, different game state. You can probably assume that that back row is a Chimera Fusion. And the Chimera Fusion, if there's enough monsters in the hand, will lead into a Guardian Chimera, which is okay because it will let you clear off a couple of monsters during the battle phase. Oh, there's a Magnamute as well. That's just mean. Whoa. I mean, on the plus side, they can't get rid of the Chimera Illusion, which during your opponent's turn will be a quick effect to revive an illusion from the graveyard. So you get the Mirror Sword Knight back into rotation. You probably would have been better off saving that Magnamute for that period. But at least with that Magnamute now, you're going to have a guaranteed starter. And then you're basically just rolling the dice of, okay, cool. If you're going to rip this from my hand, do it now. I'm pretty sure, actually, though, I take that back. Because as this end phase resolves, I'm sure it's turn player priority. So turn player would resolve the Guardian Chimera, ripping from the hand, which is a 1 of 2's chance. And then, the Guardian Chimera was, sorry, I looked away. The Guardian Chimera was Moonlit. And Moonlit actually says till the end of the turn, not to the end phase. So, yeah. Unfortunately, that Guardian Chimera is still negated up until the end of the turn, not the end phase. So all that's going to resolve is the Magnamute. So we're not even ripping one from the hand. All that speculation, and it ain't even happening. Definitely a cracked set of hand traps for the Tenpai player. Like, Nibiru, Bestial gets your combo going, chucking the card back down there. And then a negate. Oh, they also take damage as well because it left because of Nibiru. LOL. So that's 2,300 less damage to worry about. Oh. Resolving Magnamute in the end phase. Hang on, what? Third spell. Did we forget the Magnamute add? Because I only see 2 cards in the hand. The third would be that, right? So 1, 2, 3. The third would be the field spell. Oh no, activate the field spell, discard a card. Yeah, okay. So we searched out a card, and then maybe we top deck the field spell for turn. But unless that back row is something unbelievable, and I can't imagine what it could be. Like the Guardian Chimera, the Chimera Fusion is the only thing I could possibly think of. And I mean, you can use the Nibiru token, right? So Nibiru token +2. Can clear 2 off in the battle phase. They're not going to be able to take any battle damage at the moment. So it's just clearing off that token. And I suppose that's where the Collie Belt comes into play, because Collie Belt can then pop that token and you're good to run riot. There's also have the ability of a Synchro level 10 here, because they've got the Magnamute on the board, which is quite useful. See where we're going with. I mean, as well, if you searched out a Druid Swarm, if you didn't need to search out your start with Magnamute, you search out a Druid Swarm, you just go, okay, cool, Druid Swarm during the battle phase adds to your own board, which is really, really cool. Okay. Very, very interesting. This is still only game 1. I just think that Nibiru has completely blown out. Like, the Magnamute of banishing the Diabells isn't that big of an issue. It was more so getting Magnamute on the board to search out your starter. So I think that's what's so good about Magnamute in this particular deck, in a Tenpai deck, is that it becomes your starter. So it's not like an extender or a blocker or a hand trap. It's all of that and a starter, because it gets you to your it can get you to your Pedra, which is quite ironic that it's called Pedra, as you have to pay to play. Pay to Pedra. Anyway, I don't know what's going. Like, this should definitely be game. All they need to do is get rid of. I mean, they don't even need to get rid of it, because you just go battle phase, declare with the Chandra, summon out Fardra, they can't be destroyed by battle, Synchro into the 7. I suppose the attack stats is just too high at the moment, maybe. So we're linking into Striker Dragon. Okay. Why are we to get an extra deck monster on the board for an SP Little Knight. Oh, don't do what I think you're about to do. Don't do it. Don't do it. I tell you, don't do it. 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 Yeah, he's going to do it. We wait with bated breath. SP Little Knight targets the token. No! You can't attack directly when you do that with SP Little Knight. That's it. There's no, like, I mean, I am almost guaranteed, like, I'm watching this the same time that you guys are, so this isn't a pre-watch. I haven't watched this and then I'm commentating in the future. Like, if I watched this when I was there, I would notice this, but I can't imagine that this is going to pass turn. Transcendent Dragon, I'm assuming going into battle phase for the Kaiman. We're going to push, like, they're going to push for the OTK when you can't, because you can't attack directly with SP once you've used its effect. So, yeah, there you go. Chandra's going to attack. So this is all, yeah, this isn't legal. Oh, well, lesson learned. Hopefully both players are watching this back and realise that you cannot attack directly with SP. So, scooping up game one, which technically there was no game to have there, unfortunately. It looks like the Chimera Illusion let his opponent go first, and he's opened up a Heat Wave. Wow, okay, so Tenpai played Jedi'd Mind Tricks and read that they were going to be forced to go first. I would have let them go second. Like, Heat Wave's a completely dead card. Sometimes you just have to feel more confident in your deck going first than their deck going second, and I suppose once you know what it does, you're probably in a better position. But setting 2 is not looking good either. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. Ripperunio. Are they both going to brick? I mean, well, there's not really a lot you can do on the Heat Wave. But, oh, he's bricked as well. He's not got access to a Tenpai. Ah, Heat Wave means nothing if you can't follow up with it. And we've got Brand Fusion with no Ash Blossom in response. I think that is officially like if you're a branded player, that is like one of the greatest feelings in the world is if you don't have an Ash Blossom in response, because then you're like, yep, cool, I do my thing. And the best thing about this one is you're just going to go into Rinbrum. So go into Rinbrum, send in your Gazelle, send in Albaz, triggering Gazelle. Great success, getting you access to your normal summon, which is why Branded Fusion in this particular deck is so good, because it just leads you to your normal summon. And that's kind of what you're looking for, really, is as soon as it leads you into your normal summon, it's just going to give you access to everything you need. So, great success. Very nice. Now I suppose the thing for the Guardian or the Chimera Illusion is to OTK without running into a Nibiru. You have to be a little bit careful. Like, if your opponent hasn't ashed you and they haven't opened up any of their 12 starters, chances are there is a Nibiru in that hand. So, what are we going to see from here? So, Rinbrum's going to attack. So is the Mirror Sword Knight. I'm surprised we haven't tried to use Mirror Sword Knight's effect to tag out. Oh, they hard opened up a Fallen of Albaz. That is painful. There's got to be a Tenpai. Oh my god, that was a Fardra. Oh, they're scooping it up. They took that to Fardra for turn. No. Oof. Okay, let's move into that all-important game 3. Was there? Maybe they're just siding up. There we go. Cool. Right. Game 3. What is happening here? So the Tenpai player chose to let his opponent go first. Okay, very interesting. So they're going to push for the OTK. Starting off with Branded Fusion, sending Albaz and, of course, Gazelle. I suppose the question really comes down to whether or not... So we're going into the Rinbrum. It's whether or not we can lead off the back of this. Is there going to be a barrier statue set up? I suppose the only issue with barrier statue is their opponent can just hit over it. But when you have control to bring barrier statue out when you need to, you kind of... like as soon as they use up their battle phase... The only way that they can special in the battle phase is with Kaiman. Okay, so it looks like we've added a card with a hit withdrawal. Not so good. So we've got Rinbrum on the board, which gives a nice little negate when they activate a extra deck monster's effect. But how much more are we going to be able to get off the back of that? Is there... Trying to see what else is in the hand. Set into... Ooh, set into... Haven't conducted our normal summon. Obviously, if you normal summon... I would still normal summon the... Moon Knight, surely. Because then you just tribute that during your opponent's turn. Oh, it looks like it's hard open a Baphomet as well. Normal summoning Gazelle. Okay. Interesting. Oh, did they ask what Gazelle does? Oh, I think they were asking what Gazelle does. Alright, fine. It wasn't a normal summon. Could have been bad. I still feel you would have put another monster on the board, right? Like, that might have been a bit better, even under draw, because then you just trigger it during... I swear there was a Moon Knight, right? I swear we saw a Mirror Sword Knight. I keep changing its name every single time. Anyway, normal summon in Pedra. Great one to start with. Still 3 cards in hand, 2 set. I can imagine, obviously you can always imagine with an illusion matchup that one of them is Chimera Fusion. But then the question really does kind of come down to it is, if that is the Chimera Fusion, what else could be set? It wouldn't be an imperm, because I'd like to think you would have triggered the imperm now. I'm assuming there's a Kaiman in the hand, because you've gone for the field spell to give the protection. Oh, unless you're trying to go for a Moon Rose or Black Rose. Discarding Moonlit Chill. Interesting. I'm surprised. I still don't get why there wasn't a Moon Serum. Ooh, Super Poly. Okay. I mean, it doesn't end the turn because there's still a Kaiman. Oh, but they're unaffected by activated effects. And Super Poly is activated effects. You can't do that. You can't do it. Put it back. So we double check this. Apparently, the Super Poly is an activated effect. So that is completely illegal as well. That can't happen. I'm surprised neither player's kind of caught that. But is there a way, is there a way to win from this point? Go battle phase, Kaiman into Fadra. Fadra declares an attack, revive. I think they're finding that out now. I think they're reversing the game state. That they're unaffected. C, you cannot Super Poly. You would save it until the battle phase. This is always the biggest issue when you reveal knowledge like this, because as soon as you reveal knowledge like this, not only are you revealing what card is set, but you're also revealing that you have that Super Poly. Not that they can play around it, but it now means they're not going to go battle phase with those two monsters on the board. They're probably now going to hard synchro into something like a Black Rose, nuke the board, and then go for a Kaiman. There has to be a Kaiman in the hand, otherwise you wouldn't have searched Kaiman, you wouldn't have gone for the field spell, in my opinion. I feel you always go for the Kaiman. And this is the issue, this completely changes the route of play now. So, you go into Moon Rose, Black Rose, God, get it right. You go into Black Rose. Black Rose is still unaffected. We're going to use Black Rose's effect to nuke the board. So unless there is, even an imperm doesn't do anything. So this is, big oof. So Black Rose nukes the board. Field spell and Black Rose goes as well. Come on. Get rid of them. Yeah, there we go. Get those in there. But then there's still a Kaiman, man. This is the issue. Kaiman's still going to lead you to OTK. You go battle phase, Kaiman. Unless there is an Ash Blossom in that hand, you're just going to go ham. Rindbrum is during the main phase. I believe it is anyway. Try and find the Rindbrum while they're making the plays. There it is. While this card is in the graveyard, during your opponent's turn, while this card is in the graveyard, and target a Fawn of Albaz or in your graveyard, special summon either monster that field, banish the other. Surely you just bring back Albaz, right? Is there targets that Albaz can do? Or you just wait for them to go into synchro? So we're attacking for 15, attacking for 17. We're going to bring in a Fadra. I think they're reading off of the Rindbrum. They're going to do it now. No, save it. Save it. Bring back Albaz. Albaz's effect. What do you contact fuse into? Discard a card to fuse. Oh my god, he had droplet. Disgusting. Oh, yeah. That's that's painful. Very, very painful. Droplet. This is I think activating Super Poly while they're unaffected is dangerous, because this just ends game now. There's freedom now. I don't think you go into Black Rose. Me personally, I probably would have, because you have the Kaiman. So you go Black Rose, you get rid of the entire board, then you go into battle phase like this, completely open. But I don't feel that Black Rose would have gone into prior to that. I think that they were going to go into the battle phase, and then you attack, because you don't really want to get rid of your Pedra. And that's pretty much it, unfortunately. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Hopefully both players will be watching this and learn a couple of lessons from it as well as you guys watching at home. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.